So, good evening, good evening. We're back again. We're going to talk about an absolute disgrace, which is Daniel Levy. That guy is a disgrace to English football. He has done a Cambridge Union speech where he was talking about business. Obviously, he's very good at business, isn't he? Not very good at football. Anyway, before we get into talking about it, dissecting it, talking about Harry Kane. Is Harry Kane a legend? We're going to get into that. Is he a legend? He's talking about statues and all that. Good one, mate. Anyway, before we get into all of that, make sure you are smashing the like button up. I do appreciate that. Super close to 10K. Come on, sub to the channel, people. Let's get up to 10K. As soon as I get to 10K, I open up the stories feature and I can spam stories. So that'd be kind of cool. So yeah, the quicker we do that, the better. That would be fantastic. Make sure you are sharing the content around and spam the comments with your comments. How about that? Anyway, we are having a wonderful afternoon with a nice Hollandesa cerveza in sunny Spain. It's beautiful outside today. A little bit chilly indoors now. It's 20 past 6. There's a breeze coming through, hence the hoodie. But it has been 29 degrees today at one point. So yeah, man, my tan's coming on nice. But anyway, let's get into talking about this absolute disgrace to English football, which is Daniel Levy. I mean, where do we start? In fact, let's start with all the businesses, yeah, and all the ventures and franchises and all of that, right? So basically, he moves Tottenham's stadium, which is cool. It's literally right next door, just across the road, wherever. And yeah, since they've been there, beautiful looking stadium, by the way. Yeah, one thing I will give him credit for, that stadium, looks wise, is unbelievable. Yeah, I've never been there. Everybody I know who's been there said it is insane, beautiful. But boxing, NFL, go-karting now, by the way, F1 go-karting. I didn't even know that was a thing. F1 go-karting. Okay, cool. Beyonce, WizKid, Lady Gaga. Okay, cool. So where's the football? Oh yeah, the football's right down there, mate. Yeah, it's right down there. Because we're not really too bothered about the football here. The guy's a shambles. Yeah, businessman, brilliant, fantastic. Yeah, hence why he went and done the speech at Cambridge Union. But obviously it led on to football. And when you look at that football club, and I'm not just saying that because I support Arsenal, I've been saying this for years and years and years. And let's be real, it is true. I've seen today so many clips of other channels, Goldbridge, Robbie, loads of people on TikTok talking about was Rio Ferdinand right? Check out my video from yesterday, by the way. Rio Ferdinand was absolutely spot on. Trophies, no trophies. Which one would you pick? Oh, but we put the pressure on. Yeah, good one. Arsenal fans just take the mick out of Tottenham but we put the pressure on. But now, apparently, according to all of these big YouTubers, that if Arsenal push City all the way to the end and don't win it, that's a better season than Man United, who have won one trophy. Funny that, isn't it? Funny how times changed, because only a few years ago it was putting the pressure on and we were all taking the mick out of Tottenham for that. Yeah, weird. Anyway, Tottenham on the football pitch have been a shambles my whole lifetime. I'm 41 in June and they've won 4 trophies in that time. They're not very good. This whole top 4 being a thing, I went through that yesterday on the video, so check that out. I'm not going to go over all of that again. But top 4 is not a trophy. Yeah, top 4 is not a trophy. And I'm going to read out some of these quotes from Daniel Levy. He said, he was talking about Harry Kane. He said, absolutely, he can win trophies at Spurs. Being a legend is also important. The fact he's our top scorer, he's making history. And I hope one day there is a statue of Harry Kane at our stadium. Oh, dear. He was then asked about where they are in the league and Arsenal. He said, am I happy that we've not won more than one trophy in the past 15 years? Absolutely not, he added. But I also think we've had some fantastic times and been in the Champions League a number of times. Despite the fact that I feel sick that another club in North London is a bit higher than us at the moment in time. If I look back over the past 5 years, we've also been above them. So it's what happens. If you go back in history, Tottenham was the club that has a lot of history because it has won things. In recent times, it's not been where it's needed to be. We're on a journey. And we need to get better success on the pitch. It's been an incredible journey in the 22 years. Tottenham has progressed enormously in that period. Not as much as a fan, we would hope, but hopefully the journey is not over and we get a trophy that we need. We had a meeting in the last couple of weeks with all of our staff. We have about 750 staff at Tottenham, and we brought everyone together. We put up a big picture with lots of trophies. It's about winning, but winning depending on the moment in time. You ask that question to various people, means different things. No, it don't. Winning's winning, mate. When we first came to Tottenham, winning was making sure we stayed in the Premier League. Really? And then as time goes on, we became more successful. And it was about getting into the Europa League. Okay, where was the success? Then it was getting into the Champions League. Obviously, the ultimate is to win the trophies. That is clear, and we are trying to do it. It's easier said than done. This is mad, by the way. It is actually insane. It continues on. Enoch owns 87% of the club. Levy added, we have 30,000 shareholders, and most of them are fans who own the shares. We have a duty to consider any proposal anyone wants to make. All I would say is that we're not in negotiations with anybody or haven't been in negotiations with anybody over a takeover. Now, listen, let me just come back to this Harry Kane bit. Harry Kane is not a legend. Legends that have statues outside the stadiums win trophies. Thierry Henry's got a statue. Dennis Bergkamp's got a statue. Kind of mad, really, isn't it? Kind of mad. How is Harry Kane getting a statue? This is almost like Alan Shearer's one at Newcastle. What did he ever win at Newcastle? Nothing. Don't hate on me, Newcastle fans. I like your club. I like your city as well. But Alan Shearer having a statue at Newcastle, for what? He didn't do anything at Newcastle. He didn't win anything. He won one Premier League, and that was at Blackburn. By rights, he should probably have it at Blackburn. Like, Brian Clough, I think, has got 4 statues. He's got 4 statues, Brian Clough, I think. Dotted all around the country. It's mad. Yeah, and why? Because he was winning stuff. Name me a player ever to be considered a legend of the game that's never won anything. There ain't one. There genuinely isn't one. How can you talk about Harry Kane, the legend? It's embarrassing. Yeah, Grandad, what did you win when you were playing football? I didn't win anything, but I got a statue outside the ground. Why did they put a statue of you there, Grandad? Oh, because I scored the most amount of goals. Seriously, that club's banter. But anyway, let's go back again. He's talking about he was talking about the fact that winning is different. It can mean different things. Winning was staying in the league. That's not a win. Yeah, and this is where, and I'll go back to yesterday's video. This is where I get the ump with modern football, because every single owner of a Premier League club, bar 2, are billionaires. They're billionaires. Only Brentford and Nottingham Forest owners are not billionaires. The rest are billionaires. And Nottingham Forest owners worth 600 mil. Yeah, I think Brentford's worth 30, their owner. But the rest of them are all billionaires. So the turnover and the money, the incomes, like, yes, it's all relative to what you can spend, of course. But this is the Premier League. This is a cash cow. This plucky little loser tag. Oh, yes, winning was stayed in the Premier League. Let me just tell you right now, Tottenham have spent £340 million less than Manchester United in the Premier League era. £340 million less than Manchester United, the most successful Premier League team. They've spent more than Arsenal. And they're sitting there giving it, success was staying in the Premier League. Success was getting in the Europa League. Success was getting Champions League. No, Mr. Levy, that was success for your bank balance, my friend. In terms of on the pitch, that's complete failure at all costs. Yeah, all ends up. You have failed to win a trophy. You have been the owner or the face of that ownership, part owner, whatever you want to call him, for 22 years. 22 years. It's insane. That club, all it is doing off the pitch is fantastic. Great, cool. You're getting all that money in. Brilliant. Have your boxing, have your Lady Gaga and Whiz Kids and, you know, whatever, go-karting and whatever. Cool. But you have to see a return for that on the football pitch, because otherwise, all you've done is sell them fans down the river. Like, it's embarrassing. If I was a Tottenham fan, I'd be outside that stadium waiting for him every day. I'd be waiting for him every day. I'd be telling him every day. Yeah, it's embarrassing. And then what happens is, it's on the pitch. You've got, and listen, anyone from all over the world can support a football club. That's cool. But what's happened at that football club is they've got so many South Korean fans, they can't get rid of Son. Go and have a look back when they lost to Bournemouth. Go and have a look at the third goal and see all the South Koreans filming. Yeah, they're all standing there in Tottenham shirts. Yeah, all come to see Son. Oh, Sonny scored. Then all standing there filming the celebration of Bournemouth fans right in front of them, celebrating the winner. Is this where we've gone with football? Is this how far it's gone? It's not coming back anytime soon by the looks of it, because when you've got fans sitting there saying winning a trophy is not as good as not winning a trophy, because of the, oh, you're getting the Champions League and you've pushed City to the end. And what? Getting the Champions League to not win it. Now you failed again. Like this is rife in English football. It's don't happen abroad. I said this yesterday. Big up to the guy who commented this. I can't remember your name. I've forgotten. But I replied to him yesterday and said, listen, it's all well and good. Because somebody was saying about, oh, yeah, but Brighton, how are they ever going to win the league? Well, don't stop them winning over 200 cup competitions they've been in their history. Why haven't they ever won one? Because they don't take it serious. They're there for the money. Yeah, when you look at the teams, I live in Spain. When you look at the teams in Spain, go and have a look at the teams that win the cups. Last year, Real Betis. Real Betis, they beat Valencia in the final. The year before that, Athletic Bilbao got to the final. In fact, they got to the last two before that. Yeah, Barcelona have only won 2 out of the last 5. Madrid ain't won any of the Copa del Rey. They're in the final this year. But these other, I think Sevilla won it recently, last 2 or 3 years. Yeah, it was Betis, somebody else, and then Sevilla. Yeah, Betis, Barcelona, Sevilla. Even Alaves got to a final 5-6 years ago. Yeah, this is the difference between other countries and England. Because what happens in England is, because of the money, it all comes back to money, because of the money, these football clubs that are down the bottom of the table don't bother taking the cup seriously, because the money, yeah, to stay in the Premier League is bigger than the money to win a cup. Whereas in Spain, and I'll come to Italy and Portugal in a minute, but in Spain, yeah, these clubs know they ain't going to win the league. So they take the cup seriously. Why is it Sevilla do well in the Europa League? Because they know it's an opportunity to win something, so they give it their all. Why do they try for the Copa del Rey every year? Because they ain't winning the league. Yeah, and when you've got Real Madrid up there and Barcelona and Atleti, they're pushing for the league, but they're also pushing for Champions League. That's their main prizes. So they slightly take their eye off the ball a little bit, yeah, with the cups in Spain. But having said that, Real Madrid are going to win the Copa del Rey this year. I don't think that's debatable. So fair play to Ancelotti if he does win it. Now you go to Italy. In the last 5 years, Juventus, Inter, AC Milan, and Napoli have all won a league, if you include this season. Go to Portugal. Benfica are going to win it this year. Last year, Porto. The year before, Sporting. Why? Because they all have a go at it. It's not difficult, is it? Yeah. And people say, yeah, but that league's not as good. Well, it's still relative. The money's still not as big as the Premier League, and they're all battling, yeah, with similar wage gaps and similar incomes. Benfica are bigger than Porto and Sporting. Their income's bigger than Porto and Sporting. So obviously they're the Man City, if you like. But the other clubs still catch up to them and do them. Go to France and have a look at France. Lille won the league a couple of years ago. Other teams do win it. Monaco won it a few seasons back. So you can do it if you do actually do what's required. And this is where I get the ump with the English teams. Yeah, and it gets pushed and peddled by the media. Sky Sports, BBC, BT Sport, all pushing this loser mentality. I've never seen a footballer more lauded up for not winning anything than Harry Kane. 71 trophies that guy's been in, or had a chance to be in and play in for club and country, and he's won exactly 0. Why the praise? Why the praise? Oh, he's having his best season. No, he ain't. He's having the same season he has every season. He's won nothing. Smart with these people. Anyway, your thoughts and feelings on Daniel Levy. The history of the Tottenham. Chiellini did tell us 5 years ago. Leave it all in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on all of that. Why do you think there is this mentality in England? Is it just solely down to the fact that the money to qualify for these tournaments, Champions League or to stay in the Premier League, is so great? Do you think it's that? Because for me, when I see teams like Man City getting sanctioned because their owner actually wants to put his money into the club to make them more competitive, right? And he's getting done for that. Then you've got this fraud, yeah, milking millions out of that football club and not trying to win. It makes no. He should be kicked out of the Premier League because all he's doing is building up his portfolio. And by the way, ENIC own that football stadium. So even if they sell the club, that stadium's still theirs. Makes you think, doesn't it? Maybe somewhere along the tree in the hierarchy at the Premier League or somewhere along the line, maybe our shares at ENIC. I don't know. But how comes a guy can invest into that football club, buy the football club, yeah, and then decide that he don't really want to win anything? But what I'll do is I'm going to make it the North London O2, yeah, and I'm going to make millions out of this without putting it back in to make the league better. You'd think the Premier League has sanctioned that rather than somebody who wants to put his billions in. Mad. Anyway, listen, I could go on for another 15, 16 minutes, but I'm not getting it because I'm getting angry. But anyway, Bayern Munich, by the way, are on the verge of sacking Oliver Kahn. It's almost like they understand that if you fail, you have to be made accountable. Yeah, anyway, we move. Laters, people. Adios. Ciao.